let's take a few moments to just center ourselves with the help of the chant and with the help of our breath and bring ourselves here. Invoking Mother's presence and grace so that we can see more than we usually see and expand. So as we know, we are going through the passages of Sunlit Path. Sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, so religion, having morality, health, serving humanity. Captain, if you could help me, I think we have to begin with the resolution to do yoga. You're on mute if you're saying.
Yeah. Sorry, good evening. We have to start with Sri Aurobindo's teaching and religion. We have done it, but we wanted to repeat actually today.
Okay. Thank you so much.
The resolution is the next chapter actually, probably.
Okay.
So I'll go through Sri Aurobindo's teaching and religion.
Yeah.
And there is any reflection, then otherwise we'll start with the resolution to.
Sounds good. Please.
Teaching and religion. Many people say that the teaching of Sri Aurobindo is a new religion. Would you say that it is a religion? People who say that are fools, who don't even know what they are talking about. You only have to read all that Sri Aurobindo has written to know that it is impossible to base a religion on his works, because he presents each problem, each question in all its aspects, showing the truth contained in each way of seeing things. And he explains that in order to attain the truth, you must realize a synthesis which goes beyond all mental notions and emerge into a transcendence beyond thought. I repeat that when you speak of Sri Aurobindo, there can be no question of teaching nor even of a revelation, but of an action from the Supreme. No religion can be founded on that. But men are so foolish that they can change anything into a religion. So great is their need of a fixed framework for their narrow thought and limited action. They do not feel secure unless they can assert this is true and that is not. But such an assertion becomes impossible for anyone who has read and understood that Sri Aurobindo has written. Religion and yoga do not belong to the same plane of being, and spiritual life can exist in all its purity only when it is free from all mental dogma. Thank
Thank you.
you.
The other day I read a quote which said that, there are always three sides of a story. How we always have just heard two. So it said one is, one person's point of view, the other is the other person's point of view, and the third is the truth. So I don't know if it has to be separate because I think truth would accommodate everything. And yet, how it said that it cannot be one thing. And for religion, it has to be that. And this, I think, is again, even in Light Divine, one sees this again and again that we need fixed frameworks, we need fixed thoughts, we need limited, we need, to draw lines around ourselves about everything so that I can claim or I can feel that, yes, I understand. Looking at this need now more and more, that why do I always need to believe or show or have this, you know, uh, I don't know, need that I understand, I understand. And if I don't understand, it's not true. That's also there. So men are so foolish that they can change anything into a religion. So great is their need of a fixed framework for their narrow thought and limited action. They do not feel secure. I think we should rather than they right now, because we are reading, we should say we do not feel secure unless we can assert that this is true and that is not. But such an assertion becomes impossible for anyone who has read and understood what Sri Aurobindo has written. And I think this is a realization that we would have, for ourselves. One doesn't need to say that or assert that. Yeah. So religion and yoga, in conclusion, do not belong to the same plane of being, and spiritual life can exist in all its purity only when it is free from all mental dogma. So, any reflection on this?
Uh, last about 3 years, last 3 years only, I am reading about Sri Aurobindo's works, major works, and nowhere actually it has been mentioned about religion or something. So the things are so clear. I think that's why probably mother is using such words actually, that it is a foolish. The person who does not know anything, they are only actually talking of this nature. Because see, first of all, you have to go through the works, and then by quoting the works, you can quote that yes, the Sri Aurobindo has here only here. This proves that he was having this religion. It is not of this nature. Just for giving a lecture, the person is saying that he is trying to do the religion. So I think it is really foolishness. Like without going through the text, even in the code of law, like in the High Court or Supreme Court, or in this, there's a symbol, the lady holding that taraju, and eyes are band, closed. So the things that you cannot give a judgment only one sided. You have to see both the side, 360-degree actually what has happened. The person who has complained, uh, and who the against whom the complaint has been put. So both they have to be given equal chance, ample opportunity to both the parties, and then with the evidence and all the things are decided. Similarly, here it is just one-sided. Somebody has put a comment, and it should not be actually. It's just not acceptable anywhere. So that's why probably mother got little, upset about it and probably uses such words that is a foolish. But actually, it's a fool. There is nothing to feel shy about it. So that was that actually. If you are little knowledgeable and if you have gone through something and all, it will be very difficult for a normal human being to understand actually what he wanted to mean about the things. You have to do a lot of study, years together. It is not even 1 year job or something, and to understand little bit of it, or you can get little sense of it, or maybe whole life may be required to find out. Such great people they had come, and they never wanted that people should know also who they are and from where they came and all this. They never had anywhere you will get an inclination. I still remember, and I was reading about Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. About the Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, somebody has in one of the lectures, those days, 1860s or something. One of the he's a good spokesperson, so he has mentioned about him in one of the meeting. And when it was told to him that there is one madman sort of thing and all, and he is residing in so and so place and all. So when he heard, the Ramakrishna Paramahamsa called him and he told him that please do not mention anywhere. You have done once, and that's end of it actually. I love you, and you are going in the right path and all this. But please, and he stopped. He never ever uttered his name or something like that. So similarly, you will not find in any of the this thing. He has not propagated his name anywhere, and Sri Aurobindo has never mentioned anything of his nature, how for whom and how much of work he has done and how much of penance he has completed or something. Nothing of that sort. And we cannot just be so. We are in the darkness and we are illiterate and we are really full to pass some comment of this nature. Actually, we cannot. We cannot do any such judgment on such great people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Captain. I think based on what you're saying and in general too, that if I judge, if I limit, if I confine, if I comment, it's my limitedness, right? Like, because for me, this is the only way. I say it must be that way, right? And for some, even to call this as religion would be like it's giving them a compliment, right? That, oh, see, nobody knows too much, and yet I'm calling, this yoga religion, and yet it's fine, right? If that's what I understand, it's fine. No matter however I touch it, once I get in touch, it will take me where I need to go, and, slowly things open up. So I think that's also good. So, Captain, this you gave this example of, that lady in the courtrooms and how, especially it's mobbed now a lot, right? That Andha Kanoon, that even if it can see, it closes its eyes and it says, I don't see. And that is the reason they say that a lot of, especially, I don't know, big politicians or people who can slip by just manipulating the information and all, or circumstances or evidence, they just slip by. So it's strange that how something is for a purpose, but how we can always just, manipulate and.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that you were right, absolutely. But what has happened is that law of evidence has been given a great importance throughout the world. because our law and all, it came from the Britishers actually. All the rules and regulations and laws and bylaws and all this, we have got it from the British people. So earlier that we never had such things or something. So the punishment system was something else or something. But all this system and what you are saying is absolutely right. Even at the Ramakrishna mission, when it was established, and they also wanted that social justice is to be dispensed, because Ramakrishna says that that Swami Vivekananda, he wanted Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So he said, no, you cannot be such a selfish person. Your job is something else. You have come to this world for something else. You have to spread something in the world, which nobody has done so far. So, so that was the task given to him. And before death, he says that now I have finished my task, what you have given to me. Now I'm going. So 39 and a half years or so roughly. Uh, the Ramakrishna mission, when it was formed, and they were in the High Court. Maharaj, some Maharaj he was legally qualified and all, and he was taking the cases and all. He was fighting, and he has never lost any case, because the first thing he used to ask whoever is to go to him first, you have to tell the truth what has happened. So if that is truth, it can be proved. There are so many ways and means. Though it can be, bypass, you say Andha Kanun or something and all this. But in his case, he never lost any case, because they knew that other party. They knew that they are with someone. It can never be proved. The truth. We have seen ages together, or our lives together, and all. The truth cannot be proved as untruth. Actually, truth cannot be proved, because truth is only one. The lies or mistakes, it can be many, but truth is only one. And yes, it may be difficult initially to prove, but people try to manipulate or things like that, but it comes up. It comes up, and finally it can be proved. And if that chap also becomes corrupt and all, then the things are something else. So that was the case. Like here, we cannot, because a little bit of legal study I did, and I saw that it is so clear. It is so clear, and it's so philosophical about the thoughts, like possession, ownership, and things like that. If you go to, there's a hairline difference between a possession and ownership. Otherwise, both, if you read the books after books, people have given definition after definition. How will you explain what is possession, and how do you say ownership of that particular item? I got a pen, so what is this? I possess this pen, and I am the ownership of this pen. So we take it more or less the same meaning actually, and our work goes on. But as you go deep into in the court of law, that ownership is much powerful than the possession. Possession can be, you have not purchased, but you have got it from the road or something. It was falling there, and you just picked it up. But ownership means you have gone to the shop and you have purchased this, and you have got a bill to prove that this is my ownership. So, that we're not going so deep into it, any aspect and all this. And if anybody has got knowledge on anything, whether it is of religious substance or anything about this thing, and we have to do a lot of study and all, and we have to read it again and again to understand. And what I am thinking and all, it may not be always correct, or that sort of thinking is also bad. And that is why this any life history or such great this thing, we cannot pass any comment actually at any stage. I think it has never been done also. It's never done. Those who are doing it, yes. So I have not come across like somebody is telling or trying to prove. You cannot prove it actually. Even you have to prove it, there's an untruth. So how will you prove it? So thank you.
So if there are any more comments, we can take that. Otherwise, we can move to the next passage. So this was Sri Aurobindo's teaching and religion. And after this, we have the resolution to do yoga. Yeah, so we can take this.
Should I read?
Yes, please.
The resolution to do yoga. You see, one may have a very good will, a life oriented towards a divine realization. In any case, a more or less superficial consecration to a divine work and not do yoga. To do Sri Aurobindo's yoga is to want to transform oneself integrally, is to have a single aim in life such that nothing else exists any longer, that alone exists. And so one feels it clearly in oneself, whether one wants it or not. But if one does not, one can still have a life of goodwill, a life of service, of understanding. One can labor for the work to be accomplished more easily, all that. One can do many things, but between this and doing yoga, there is a great difference.
Yeah, Captain, I think you can continue.
Okay. And to do yoga, you must want it consciously. You must know what it is to begin with. You must know what it is. You must take a resolution about it. But once you have taken the resolution, you must no longer flinch. That is why you must take it in full knowledge of the thing. You must know what you are deciding upon when you say, I want to do yoga. And that is why I don't think I have ever praised you from this point of view. Should I continue? Okay. But the day you make a choice, when you have done it in all sincerity and have felt within yourself a radical decision, the thing is different. There is the light and the path to be followed quite straight, and you must not deviate from it. It fools no one. You know, yoga is not a joke. You must know what you are doing when you choose it. But choose it, when you choose it, you must hold on to it. You have no longer the right to vacillate. You must go straight ahead there.
Yeah, I think we can stop here. Thank you. I'll just stop for reflection, then we proceed. Although it's very self-explanatory here, it's
Yeah. So, I was, while reading, straightway I was thinking, in a very early age, I was told to read Bhagavad Gita. When I was in the school, so class 7, 8 or something. So then I tried to read Gita, but hardly I could understand when I read for the first time. Uh, then, I read this much that Krishna says in one place that he wanted to do something. So once you decide that I will do the particular job, and in such words, like Krishna says that then all your resources, all your energy, and whatever you have, the full strength, full concentration, everything, because the resolution has been taken that you will be doing that job. So everything is to be put into it to complete that job. So in the halfway, you cannot come back. Sorry, I decided wrongly. Actually, I do not want to do this. At this stage, I realize and all this. There is nothing like this realization. So initially, if I think here, it has been given the similar way that yoga, I have decided that I will be doing the yoga. Means now I should not think that ever in my life I will go out of this, and I do not want to do what I wanted to. Something like that I was getting the sense while reading this, particularly the second chapter of this third paragraph when I was reading this. So you have to like I was remembering that in Bhagavad Gita it has been uttered in no uncertain words that once we have decided that yes we will do that, then we must get into. And here it says that yes, mother says that you will come to know once you decide and you have taken some steps. Straight away we get that feelings that yes, I am in the correct path. I am in the correct path, and you will get that actually. That is the whatever positive indication we get, that may not be the final, maybe much more to come, but we definitely get the something which will inspire us to carry on. That's I have felt in my life. I felt in my life that practically, that if I decide, so initially I do various pros and cons of that job and this and that. If I do, then if I don't get succeed, or what will happen, and all these thoughts are over, and decide finally yes I'll do this. Once I decide to do this, then I put all my energy. I had been doing this, and I was quite successful actually in that, finishing the job. And there's no deviation of the mind and no losing of energy in other directions or other thoughts will not be able to disturb me actually. Thank you.
Yeah, Taru, can you from the starting?
Uh, Anything?
Yeah, no, Badalji, Monica had just asked me to just scroll up. So she said just to put it from the starting. Yeah.
Okay, so read it once more.
No, we'll just
No,
look
no,
at it. Just she wanted
just
me
looking
to
at it.
do the screen share, just adjust that. That's what she said. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Uh,
Yeah. Mm. So one thing which I was wondering is that I don't remember consciously taking up anything. So I don't know if I had a choice, not had. It feels like, for me, it appears like it was like choiceless and, just a direction of grace, because how it says here, that's why a bit wondering that, that mother says here, and to do yoga, you must want it consciously, you must know what it is to begin with. So I would say I have no clue when I wanted it consciously. I don't know what it is, no idea, what it entails. Then you must know what it is. You must take a resolution about it. Again, that too, I can't remember. Maybe, it was taken in which life, one doesn't know. But somehow I was just wondering but once you have taken that resolution, you must no longer fringe. So somehow I'm not able to see that consciously I did something, you know, get it? As if I had a choice which path to follow. So I see that as if it appears like a choicelessness, that you have no other way to go but this. Now one has no idea what it entails, but the only way is this, something like that. Or maybe I don't know, Mother or Sri Aurobindo, maybe he's telling to somebody that, that's why I don't press people coming to ashram, saying that is also context based
Yeah.
bhi ho sakta hai thoda.
And that's what I felt. I also felt exactly
हाँ,
the same, how it said that I say things to people, right? It's not all.
हाँ,
So that's what
yeah,
it's sounding, that if somebody's again and again, again and again, on the edge,
yeah,
then it's important.
hmm,
And yet, I don't know, the truth is that I don't know, if I look at myself, this back and forth, feeling something sometime and then just running after something else and then ekdam se coming back that no, no, not working, that I feel is part of the further development of the thing, right? Like I have
hmm,
to, how Sri Aurobindo says that by your stumbling, the world is perfected. So it's never been like that, okay, that's fine. And what Badalji said, कि first I weigh and then I just go head first, head in and that's it. I don't know, I have mostly never been able to have that questioning, right? That am I doing the right thing? I hope this is, the right thing, or, mother help me do the right thing. So that thing about, maybe, I don't know, it could be lack of
hmm,
faith, or, I mean, it
hmm,
must be, but that thing is always standing, that, how it's like one keeps doubting that, am I straying? Am I kind of, is
hmm,
this part of that thing? So that thing I do see in myself, and that's why I also felt exactly what you're saying, that it seems very contextual.
hmm.
Wondering
One
why
more thing
they're, yeah, sorry.
which is coming to me is that at times, we are taking our personality to, like, one can say that as if we possess our personality, the way we are, the way we have been since childhood.
Actually, I was thinking that maybe at the Turiya, the fourth stage, or mind, like we waking stage, and dreaming state, and the third one is the sleeping. And so there are three states, and there is one fourth state. So that is Turiya. It was present in all the three stages. So probably in the Turiya stage, this was there with Manikaji, or this thing initially maybe there. So that may be the question which is coming, or anything, any type of work which I was referring myself is that any type, if some work is required to be done, and one it is bestowed or it is coming to me, then definitely I think whether is it, first of all, is it required to be done by me? So that question comes inside mind. There are this question comes for and against. And once I know that yes, I have to be doing this, I've decided that in this particular job is required to be done. Then I was remembering about Bhagavad Gita's teachings, that you have to put all your energy and go ahead. And I have done that, and I have succeeded in this. So the initially how the things are taken for everybody, this may be a different part. Like yoga, I was interested, but I was not understanding the meaning of it actually. The what do we do? Because there is physical yoga, and there is some mental yoga, and so many yoga gurus are now available, and all this and all this. So we get on, if someone is trying, they get confused initially. But probably with that we have to try, and then probably we have to figure out whether still I want to find, we want to go ahead or not. And so at least some idea of yoga has to come into the mind, and then only probably I will be pursuing it. I will be pursuing it. So that I
What
think I was thinking.
I'm trying to say is that we think that we have a choice on who we are. But I am saying that we don't have a choice. For example, the example that you are sharing about yourself, I'm just putting it forward that maybe we don't have a choice here. The way you have been, because of grace, you don't have any other way you could have been. That's what I'm sharing. That it's not in your hands that you could have been any other way. So many a times I feel what I was trying to share earlier, that we think that this is me, this is how I have been throughout my life. The moment I set my eyes on it, I am after it, or something other. But the thing is that you don't have any other choice. It's because of grace that whoever is the way, whoever, to each his own. Everybody is different, and the kind of constitution we have got in this life, we don't have. I'm saying that right now, you could not have been otherwise. You could not have been otherwise. So there is a choicelessness. That this is the way you found yourself. That the moment you decide upon a thing, you go after it, or something else that somebody else may share, because we found ourselves like that. So I'm just trying to put it forward that it's just because of grace and neural pathways and whatever, that we are who we are. Now imagine a situation that something happens in our constitution, some change in the brain or neurology or something. Are you sure you will remain the same? There is no surety. So, we think that it's in my hands the way I am, but I'm questioning this and I'm saying that we have no idea. There is nothing that is possible without any, grace participating in it. So it's just a matter of grace that we found ourselves like that, and each one has their own abilities. And yeah, we could not have been otherwise. That's what I'm sharing. We could not have been otherwise. Yeah.
A small funny example, like whenever I have noticed myself saying that, okay, now I know this. Something as simple, maybe I don't know how to make a roti round, for example. Okay, I made 10 of those and all 10 of them turned out to be round. That I have this thing that, okay, now I think I get it. And then still I say that, no, I didn't get it. It would not be round. For example, just that for each and everything I realized that as soon as that I come, then it's like, no, it wasn't me. Okay. Thank you for that
Absolutely.
thing. So yeah,
Absolutely.
what you said, I
Yeah.
think it's reflected in everyday happenings.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
mm,
Mother shares at many, many locations how, I think also in terms of healing medicine, she shares that people think homeopathy, allopathy, naturopathy, their change of diet, their discipline has cured them, but they are foolish, something like that. That only thing that works is grace. And we will see this in our own life, as Saru was sharing, or other examples we may have, that the same medicine which I claimed to a friend that works for me, the next day it stops working. Who is trying to tell me what now? And people who claim that, see, I have changed my diet and this works, you up now this diet, and you will also be good like me. And if we see honestly, then we will see that neither is it working for them, just that diet. There is something else that works. And neither can that work for us if we don't have a complete communion, like a total faith somewhere. So either faith works, or in other words, divine grace works. No medicine has the power to cure anyone. No change of diet, no breath pranayam has the power to cure, if not for the background, grace present in it. Really. And we are nothing without that grace. Our personalities are zero without that grace.
Is absolute truth, like divine grace. Uh, because the Ramakrishna Paramahansa also says that in one place, even the leaves of a tree does not move without the grace or the divine will. The divine will. Similarly, during that COVID, that millions and millions of people they were dying throughout the world, and even the doctors, like in India, we had some statistics. There are so many doctors who got killed, uh, whereas they were prescribing medicines and they were treating the patients with those medicines. They tried the same medicines for himself, for themselves, but they could not be survived. Actually, there's so many doctors who got killed. So definitely it is proved beyond doubt that the divine grace is playing everywhere, actually, every day with everybody, whether you know it or whether you like it or dislike it or whichever may be, whatever. At times my ego self is saying that I have done this and because of me the things have taken place and all this. So that is my ego self. It's not me actually inside. I think so. It's absolutely right that we have to
Yeah.
have the divine grace.
Mm.
Thank you.
Yeah. And it happens everywhere. The beauty of this is that it happens everywhere, even on the spiritual path. Sri Aurobindo Mother also talk about this, that we may have a very beautiful glimpse of, some experience spiritually, some practical, visceral, bodily experience, some beauty, some delight. And even that can be claimed by the ego. And that is why vigilance is one of the most important. Kabir says that we have to be vigilant as long as we have breath in this body, vigilance has to be there. Like even the masters, one cannot say that, oh, now I'm realized I can now, lack of vigilance and gone. And we have seen many, many cases, gurus and masters where they may have good realization, but since the ego never dies really that easily, so they actually claim it like full of arrogance, like I, look, you bow down at my feet, forget about divine. I am the one who took you to the divine. While if you see really honestly, true, genuine, realized, people, if we see, they have this aspect of humility about them that I think some of either Badalji Taru was sharing that, they remove themselves from the picture. I am not here. My name is not required. What is required is your connection with the divine. If that is done, done. You don't have to take my name. So that's also there parallelly. And then there are people who, they do little things, and they just, again, because the ego is not dying, and if you are not vigilant, it really can just spoil everything. It's like a poison, it's like very bad taste, just like makes everything impure, any good deed. So that's why, there is actually no good deed, because the same thing, I may have done it with very pure intention. But the moment I'm done with the deed or action or word, whatever, the ego looks back at it. Oh, I did it. And, gone, spoiled, really.
Actually, in Bhagavad Gita, is very clearly Arjuna asked these questions, and Sri Krishna replies that the people, those who are falling, say maybe that ego thing or something which has come up, and because of the lack of vigilance or something, and the person who has fallen, and again he has to start de novo, he or she may not be in this life possible, maybe in the next life when he will be taking birth there, the uh, circumstances will be congenial for him or her to that atma to again start off de novo. This is all gone, and then this moment, the moment I think that the vigilance should be so 100%, 100%, that the moment we are thinking otherwise, that ego self is coming up, and then probably the whole thing is gone. Whatever the job we have done with the pain and all this, so everything goes. The result goes, actually. We come to zero again. Zero. Sir. Thank you.
So I think it's okay if we now go ahead. So anybody who's willing can please read this.
You go.
Okay, I'll continue. To do the the yoga of transformation, which of all things is the most arduous. It is only if one feels that one has come here for that, I mean, here upon earth, and that one has to do nothing else but that, and that is the only reason of one's existence. Even if one has to toil hard, suffer, struggle, it is of no importance. This is what I want and nothing else. Then it is different. Otherwise, I shall say, be happy and be good, and that is all that is asked of you. Be good in the sense of being understanding, knowing that the conditions in which you have lived are exceptional, and try to live a higher, more noble, more true life than the ordinary one, so as to allow a little of this consciousness, this light, and its goodness to express itself in the world. It would be very good. There we are. But once you have set foot on the path of yoga, you must have a resolution of still and walk straight onto the goal, whatever the cost.
I'm reminded of what Jetsunma Tenzin Palmosi shared that so on one hand she's talking about truly identifying with who we are, when they talk either this consciousness, knowing that we are consciousness, stabilizing as consciousness. In their words, they say primordial awareness, the nature of the mind, realizing the nature of the mind. But she shares parallelly that, in the meantime, because this is a long process, truly realizing who we are and realizing consciousness, it's a long, long process. It's like a what we say sadhana in itself. And since the mind is distracted again and again, it takes a long, long, long time uh, before we get any truly realization. So she says that in the meantime, uh, have a good heart. And that's what, it was shared in this paragraph that, okay, if you want to keep yoga aside, it's okay. But don't live like the lowest possible. Have a good life, be good, say good. And she says that and that's why they have these paramitas, ethical conduct, not stealing, not taking anything without. So basic discipline in life, basic sorting and sanity in life, that you're not making your life chaotic, and being generous to people. Generosity is one of the paramitas, perfections. That if there is last thing left and it's coming to me that I must eat it, I would rather offer it because I want to practice generosity. So things like that, that even if we are not doing yoga or some realization waiting for that to happen, in the meantime, just having a good heart, open mind, being generous to first ourselves, and then of course, we can extend that generosity. So yeah, that was coming to me because it resonated, this paragraph.
Yeah, and what I really like about this is like if she's explaining something that she can see on your face that you're not able to get it, right? Then she would just say, just forget it. Just have a good heart. It's like, okay, if I'm not able to get it, it's fine. But this you can get, right? This we all can get, right? Be kinder, have a good heart. And yet, my definitions of having a good heart would be different too, and I can refine that more and more the more I hear when somebody is saying have a good heart, because there's no end, right, to compassion and love and yeah, having a good heart, but yeah, how she just brushes it aside and says, "Don't
Yeah, she
worry,
says, forget
just
about it, forget
forget
about it.
about it,
Don't
don't
confuse
worry."
yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And I think what she also shared in the same context is that the Buddha also pointed out that, for example, loving kindness or generosity or compassion, we have to first start with our own self. You know, that if I have a very good friend who I want to take care of and I would want to, nurture that person or kid or whatever, the same thing first I have to start with. Okay, if I am my own best friend, how can I take care of myself? How can I have a good life, joyful life, so that when the cup is full, then it can be uh, kind of benefit to anyone around. Because when we approach it, like, many a times we approach it in a way that, oh, I want to be kind to this person, but I forget that there is also a person here to whom I have to extend kindness. Yeah.
And I think when one is kind to oneself, actually kind, when one is able to give oneself the space, the I don't know, platform to okay, even make mistakes and yet be okay about it, accepting and stuff. It's not possible that that doesn't spill, right? Then you also become that okay, everything is fine, mistakes are okay. Okay, I also don't feel like, when I honor myself, I then honor others too. It doesn't begin, it's usually in our thing, it's always told ki bahar dekho, right? Respect everybody, love everybody, be good to others. But if I don't do it here, what I'm doing outside doesn't have the heart in it. It doesn't feel authentic. And when I do it through myself, it spills. I don't even have to make an effort. That openness and acceptance just naturally comes. Yeah.
Yeah. And in the other case that you're sharing, if I'm many a times it happens with us that I'm unkind to myself, and yet people know me as a kind most person. It happens,
Mm,
we have seen
mm,
people like that.
mm,
So I think in that case, what we enter into is a very slippery slope, that
mm,
at the cost of the self that I
mm,
am extending, at the cost of this, I am being eaten from inside,
mm,
and I'm just like giving my blood out to people. And people may think that I am the most kind, of course, and they may have felt that kindness. That's okay, but it's like a pathological form of kindness. It's not like a very healthy kindness in which I'm just, and somewhere I feel that the sense of self is also attached with that doing,
mm,
that I am nothing if I don't be kind to people. So again, since we were talking that ego can jump and claim anything. So again here, that I am known as a kind person, that can become now my tamga, my label, and that can kill me slowly. So
mm.
anything which becomes my label, it has the possibility of just, yeah, spoiling everything, basically spoiling the innocence and purity of it. While what you were sharing, when I am parallelly conscious of the being here also and being kind and generous, compassionate, loving towards myself, then I don't see a chance that any act that I do outwardly would fall into that pathological category, because it's not possible. Because, yeah,
While growing up, I had a relative who was always kind of doing a lot of things, helping a lot of people, and yet nobody really liked her. Nobody really wanted to be around her, and she was quite complaining about it. So I was like, I'm saying like maybe between 6 to 10 years of age and stuff. And she would, whenever she would find us alone, the children especially, she would just say, see how much I do. And yet, nobody appreciates me. And plus, like things like, कि लड़की कभी किसी की नहीं होती, कि, your parents also never, so, they have to let you go here. Nobody accepts you. Look at me, look at me. And that conversation used to make me feel very weird that what's happening, okay, why, I mean, yes, she does do things. I see her extending herself. So I remember once I'd asked my sister, I think, that why does she keep saying that, and what it is true that she's doing, and yet nobody appreciates her and stuff. And I think my sister said that, do you feel that she's good? Do you feel that she wants to do the things? And then I said, no, my heart doesn't feel that. So then she said that, okay, first of all, that's what we are feeling. So we also have to regard that it's not just what one is doing, it's from where. And secondly, she said that everybody has their story, right? Don't believe her when she says that, अरे लड़की किसी की नहीं होती and stuff. Like, it's her story, let it be hers. You don't take it onto yourself. So, like, as a child, I was just saying that this thing that, yes, she is doing, and yet I'm not feeling. And you feel that, right? The center from which one is operating. Okay, what is the purpose? Kind of. So it seems contradictory, and yet you get it. You see that, yeah, I don't know, like what I wanted to say. That example, I was just reminded of that. Mm.
So, just touching upon a few lines here, the yoga of transformation. So here, I think by now we understand, or maybe just to reiterate a little bit, that what do we mean by transformation? Many a times we talk about, like in Kabir's couplets, we come about that the senses are enemies. Ek jeev ripu panch. So he talks of senses as the enemies. And why as enemies? Because senses are taking us towards outward things, like they are as if they are doors which open outward towards outward things. And all our attention goes towards outer things. So usne kya kaha, what that person said to me, what was said to me 5 years ago, 2 minutes ago, you know. So, and again regarding touch, smell, and all that, so it takes us outward. And when we are lost in that outward world, we forget somehow to come back to our own self. So that's why, one of the reasons, again, there would be many more deeper reasons, that one of the reasons is that it is an enemy because it takes me outward. It defocuses my attention from within, scatters me all around, looks, uh, make possible for me to look at some glitter that I can see, that I can touch, feel, hear. But in this yoga, what we talk about, integral yoga or yoga of transformation, we are not wanting to shun the senses away. So it's not about, okay, close your doors and shut yourself up within and realize who you truly are. That's it. Now the thing is that, of course, we have to shut the doors at times. Very, very important to ingather and focus within and to get in touch with something deeper, which is the guidance within. But with that guidance, I have to transform the thoughts. I would not do it directly. I'll keep invoking the grace, and the grace will do it for us. But then I need to have a willingness that I look at my thoughts and they are impure. And now I don't want to act through impure thoughts or impure feelings, which disturb myself, disturb others, become a cause of frustration, misery for others and for myself. Because there is a consciousness within us which can see all this happening, which sees which action and which word of mine affects in what way. It is in front of us if we are sensitive. So the idea is that to purify thoughts. So thought are there, the senses are still open to outward things, but now we want not to harm anyone, inflict suffering on anyone through those impure thoughts. So purity in thoughts, simplicity in thoughts, again simplicity and purity in feelings. So turning what Sri Aurobindo was sharing earlier, just have goodwill, good heart. So turning ill will to goodwill, and recognizing that there is ill will there and not following the dictates. And same with the body, invoking in the body, as Mother says, that the kind of consciousness that the cells must know that they are actually truly divine and they don't have to die. But as Mother says, that it starts from the subtle domain, thoughts, feelings, and then the body. It doesn't start the opposite way, because body is most crude, and that's why she says that if you first try to change your diet, become vegan or very sattvic diet, and you have not purified yourself in the thought, feelings, and thoughts, then it is not going to work. You keep on falling back and back and back again with impure thoughts and pure feelings. So that ideal way, according to the Mother, is starting with purity in thoughts, purity in feelings, and then slowly, as the body now becomes ready, that body itself begins to choose what kind of a diet it would like to, with that kind of purity in the being, but not the other way around, because that she says that that can lead to malnutrition also. It can actually collapse. The body can collapse because it's not ready for that much of purity that you are giving through the sattvic food. It's not ready. So that's yoga in short, just touching upon it, yoga of transformation. And we see that it is not easy, because it requires complete transformation of my how I used to think, how I used to feel, what I feel about this person, that person, the older patterns, all of that scaffolding has to turn itself into something new. Slowly again, baby steps. Yeah. So just was wanting to touch upon that yoga of transformation and why he's sharing that it is arduous. Because now you are looking at yourself and you don't recognize your older self. You slowly, as you go ahead, you kind of leave your dead skins, like a snake is there, it keeps removing its dead skin. So like that, we keep letting go of our older selves, which are not serving us well, and then we are ready for something more. And this, where he says that it is only if one feels that one has come here for that, one has come on earth. Many a times we think that we have a choice to go back to older way of life. But if we honestly see, then we will see that as if we have a choicelessness, that no, there is nothing else in life that interests me more than this path of transforming one's own being, working with thoughts, purifying feelings. There is nothing more that interests me in the world. So then he says that, and when you feel like that it is, that's my path, without any choice. So even if one has to toil hard, of course, when you know that there is no other option for you, then you take everything in stride that, okay, doesn't matter, this collapses, that breaks, that relationship, that workplace, money goes, doesn't matter, because I have no choice but to do this yoga. Or even if I may not be using the word yoga, but this is the path which is for me, to continue to work on myself through every situation of life. And I don't want anything but this. What he says, this is what I want and nothing else. So then everything becomes secondary. All the life situations are just aiding in that journey. They are secondary. They themselves have no importance. What is important is out of that trigger, how I take it and how my attitude changes. And this also, I think, this resolution of steel, again, I'm difficulty understanding, because I feel that if there is a true call for the path, then there is no choice. So where is the resolution of steel? So I sometimes get really confused here that, that, for example, that person, I was sharing one story that a person saw somebody falling on the train tracks, and he had a thought that no, not even a thought. He just jumped intuitively, trying to save that child or whoever. Now, when people claimed him to be a hero, he's actually very shocked and surprised and amused also that, I just did what I had to do. Like there was no question about it. So यहाँ पे, I think there is, people may say, oh, you are so courageous, but he could not connect with that he's courageous because he just followed the call. So yeah, this confuses me at times, just
Now, what I can think is that at any given time, till one reaches that place of choicelessness, one is choosing, right? So right now, if I can choose to have a fruit or a burger, for example, my sensor would want the burger, but it's better to have a fruit, right? So, but we keep falling, right? That yes, I even know that if I have a burger, I might have acidity through the day, for example, and yet I cannot overcome my desire and I give in, give in, give in. So I think one of the reasons why I feel this would be said in such a strong way and in this way, that connecting yourself, that you can have that will. You don't always have to fall prey to your desires, to the society, to, just going wherever everybody's saying go. Know that you have that will. You can have the will of steel to just, because, it's like they say that if you can't see, that's fine, right? You can't see. But once you can see and then you choose not to see, that's sadder, right? That's sad because now you could see. So that's what I think could be the purpose of this. Ki just, kind of, how sometimes we shake ourselves or people, kare dekh, it is possible. You can have and go for it, go for it. Don't look here and there. So that's what, yeah. Again, very strongly, right? Walk straight to the path, resolution of steel, whatever the cost. So it's like, say, if you're standing on a crossroad, right, and you remember this, it kind of nudges you forward, right? That she said, yes, whatever the cost, go, go, go. So can we hear? Yeah. So I think we'll not take more another passage today. This was a long one. So anything, any last reflection? Shreya, I know you joined quite late, but if there's anything you would like to share or, I don't know, reflect or just comment before we end, you can unmute. Yeah.
nothing today, Taru.
Okay. Mm,
Thank you.
thank you. So we'll end the session and just taking a few moments of just gratitude at how we, I don't know, are getting an opportunity to challenge our thoughts and thinking and, I don't know, beliefs and getting, I don't know, more and more light. There are times when, we don't resonate with things, and yet just to know them, just to hear them, it helps. And when you're ready, that teaching, that, that affirmation, it comes in front of you and you can pick it up then. So just taking this moment of gratitude to and just sharing the merit of anything and everything with everybody. There's always just me, but taking this moment for us. May all beings be well, and truly happy. Thank you for joining in, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.